All right, so we're at 3 o'clock. Let's call this meeting of the Churchill County Library Board of Trustees into session. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We have our first opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone who would like to provide us with a public comment at this time? Hearing none, let's go on to a roll call of members. We'll start with you again, Sue.
Sue Segura.
Jessica Rowe.
Ryan Swirzlik.
Sari Kaler.
Maddie Cerna.
All right, and a verification of the posting of the agenda.
Crystal Machado, for the record, the agenda was posted on the 19th of March between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. at all the locations listed on the agenda in accordance with statutes.
Thank you, Crystal. And now for a consideration and possible action regarding the approval of agenda as submitted or revised.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Sue. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. We have the motion on the floor, so all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And now we can take a consideration and possible action regarding the approval of the minutes for the meeting that was held on February 27th, 2025. Do we have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes as they were revised.
Thank you, Sari. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Sue. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And the motion carries. So now we have time for the Library Board of Trustees report. Does anybody have anything that they would like to report today?
I have actually 3 different things. So if anybody has anything to add on, you guys can just say, wait, we'd like to talk, if that's okay. The first thing, I want to give you guys an update of the CLA. So we had a meeting on Monday, and Elizabeth Bennett, who is a patron, has made a substantial donation to the library, and that was a month ago, at least, right? Mm-hmm. And Kathy was right on top of it and got her name up on the donor wall, and we have gotten, we're still getting, if I'm correct, donations from the letter Zip sent out in December. So I'd like to publicly thank everybody who's making donations. That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for that. At the board meeting, we also discussed the fundraiser Books, Bites, and Beverages. I don't think a date has been set actually for it, but so that's in progress. And we also mentioned, Zip mentioned like an outreach program to Fallon authors. And the way I understood it was like kind of a showcase of Fallon authors, young and older, showcasing what they have written in our great community. So that sounds fun. That's all I have on the CLA. Is there any questions?
That's excellent, Sari. That sounds like you guys have been very, very busy, and we know that Book Bites and Beverages is well received by the community, so I'm glad to hear that it's coming along. The Fallon Authors Initiative is really interesting to me, so when they get ready to kind of put that outreach out, let me know where that's posted, and I'll keep an ear to the ground, okay?
Oh, definitely. And I, if any of you guys know any authors, that might benefit us, authors around here in Fallon. So if any of you can give us a shout out, that would really help us. The next thing I want to talk about is the volunteer reception. I want to give, if I could give a standing ovation, Magdalena, I would. You did a great job with that. So at the volunteer reception, the volunteers were given little bookmarks and lights that you can put on your book if you want to secretly read when nobody's supposed to know you're reading at nighttime. So that was very cute, and it was great. And Magdalena and the whole library staff showed their appreciation for all the volunteers. And if I remembered this correctly, Kathy, you said that the volunteer hours were as much at, or 2 hours less than a year's pages hours. Is that correct? Yeah. So thank you so much to all the volunteers that come in and help get programs going, dust, and organize the bookshelves. That's very appreciated by, me on the board. I'd like to say all of us board members and the library staff too. And the last thing I want to talk about, does anyone have any questions on that or comments?
This is Maddie Cerna, and I would like to comment on the volunteer reception. I also attended that, and it was a lot of fun. And my daughter received one of those very fun lights, which she enjoys. So thank you, library staff, for putting on the reception, and also thank you, volunteers, for helping the library be a neat place in our community.
Yes, I want to second that. Thank you to the library staff because you guys are awesome. The last thing I'd like to talk about is, we're always involved in the VR program, my son is, and so he's gone every Tuesday except for one this month. And the last time we were there, he got to work on a mechanics simulator. I have to make sure I said that right. And he was so excited. He wants to grow up and be a mechanic, although his uncle says don't do it. But anyways, he was so excited because he could fix these cars and then race them down the highway. And when his 15 minutes was up, he was so sad because he was just getting the coordination figured out on how to do it all. While we were there at the VR program, I had middle school students come up and talk to me, and it was just fun. These programs build such a sense of community and friendship, and as this kid was talking to my son, it turns out they're in the same grade, so I just want to say thank you, library staff, for all of your great programs. You guys are really building a sense of community and friendship and companionship through your programs, so thank you so much for that.
I'd like to second that also. If you guys ever read Facebook, and sometimes I do, all the comments about our new librarian are amazing. I wanted to screenshot and send you one, but I didn't do it.
I appreciate those comments in the report. I think that they eloquently say everything that I would have. And so thank you again for another strong month of good hard work. We appreciate it. That gives us a chance to move on to your report. So the library director's report.
Okay, we've had a busy month in March. The budget, as you know, has been submitted, and I'm going to attend the budget hearings tonight and listen to the comptroller give her speech, and so I'll have gone through the whole process at that point, so I'm very interested in attending this evening. I met with the Nevada Co-op directors. We had general topics to discuss. There's going to be a lot of changes, an update to COHA, so we're working through those, not very many glitches, but a few. Our strategic plan group met on March 8th, and we are meeting again April 11th, and we're going to actually at that point have a set of goals and some survey questions ready to be sent out to the board so you guys can guide or decide how you would like our survey to go and how the goals that we've met, if we're not met, but that we're suggesting if that's something we want to change, that the library board will have comments on, and that will be at our April library trustee meeting. I attended the department head meeting this last month and heard a lot about the budget. We had a special program, the Nevada Legal Services for the day used our annex and helped folks learn how to navigate the legal kiosk that we have in the building. Our staff is pretty comfortable with it, but it was very interesting to have patrons come in and have someone help them with that. And they had attorneys there and they asked all sorts of legal questions, and it was really well received. We had a lot of people come through the door. We sent them over to the annex. They'd come back over. So it was really, we're going to do that again because it was really a nice service that they offered. And they had approached us and wanted to make sure that we know how to use the kiosk correctly and all of that. So I was surprised it went as well as it did, but I was really happy with it. The CLA meeting I attended, we have started the big discussions about books, bites, and beverages and what that's going to be. I don't have a date either, so I sent an email to the CLA president to ask him about that. I took the Rosetta Stone language database training online the other day because we had gotten rid of our other language, because it was costing too much. It was fascinating how easy it was to use and how they walk you through the steps. So as soon as it's recorded, the staff is all gonna watch it, and that will be what we promote as our database for foreign language. It was really easy to use, and I was really surprised. Jay and I both took it online with the instructor, and I was really impressed with it. So I was really happy that the co-op purchases that. The week of April 7th, I will send an email to each of you. We have gotten all the bookmarks back from when we did it with the school district. What does your library mean to me? Bookmark design. We've had some really, really cute stuff submitted. So I'll send an email to you. You can come in and vote anytime during that week. They'll be mounted on boards. You won't know names, and it'll all be, and then the 6 finalists, the 6 winners from each of the schools, we have solicited local businesses, and so they are going to give whatever it is they gave, gift cards or, coupons off. And so we will use those bookmarks. We will run them and use them for our summer reading and for when you get a new library card, so it ties the community more together.
Kathy, did we have any high school students participate in that?
I don't know yet. We're not done till the 31st.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I won't know until who we've had until the school has shut it down.
Thank you. We have great artists.
It's really cute. It's really a cute idea. We are in the process of converting our storage room into another study room. We've had lots and lots of requests for that little room outside my office to be used all the time. So the staff have all figured out where we can store stuff, where we can move stuff. And so facilities is going to come over and move all the furniture that's in there, and we're going to redistribute it throughout the building. And then we will have one more space for the public to use for quiet study. Tom is also going to run some of his programs through there, so he can use the big TV and not take up the space on the floor in the library. So we're hoping facilities comes tomorrow and moves all the furniture, and then we can set it up, and then the custodial staff will clean it, and then we can hopefully offer it starting the 1st of April as another study space that the public can use, along with the annex and along with the small study room. Jay is out right now, so she is now offering Zoom virtual story times on Saturdays, and she had a group of folks that she visited with and sent the link to. It was kind of a closed group, and now she's ready to open it up. So starting in April, on the calendar, you will see that we have a virtual story time, whether she's there in the building or Magdalena will. We will run that story time. That will become a permanent program because it's pretty easy to do. And we've had a great turnout. We've had 11 kids pretty consistently show up every Saturday morning, and Jay reads some books to them, and they talk about, and Jay puts the craft together, and then they do the craft at home, and it's worked out really well. So we've had a busy month. So that's my report.
Everybody has, I think.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Any questions? Anything I can clear up?
Can you explain the virtual story time a little bit better? So do the kids actually come to the library?
No.
Okay, so it's all at
They
home.
stay home.
Okay.
Jay sends, there's a link in the calendar. Jay sends a link to them, a Zoom link, and then they log on, their parents log on, and then there she is on the screen. So it literally is 100% virtual.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. I've watched 3 of them, so yeah, it's really cool.
I love that program, and so thank you for explaining a little bit more about it, because I think that the public that's watching the meeting will love to hear about it too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it sounds like you've got a good, solid core group that's enjoying it.
Yeah, thank you.
I also really appreciate what you're doing to provide a little bit of extra space. That's a really creative way to make sure that we can get some good, quiet study. I know that more and more people need it, and as people come in with small children in the library and want to do some study, that's been something that they've needed. So thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments for our director? Looks like everybody feels pretty good about it. I do. We can move on now to set the date and time of our regular library board meeting. It is set for April 24th at 3:00 p.m. Does anybody have any comment or concern on that? We look pretty good. Okay. So, moving into new business, consideration and possible action regarding approval of the monthly budget reports for February 2025. Does anybody have any discussion that they would like to make on that topic, or any questions?
I don't remember if this was on the monthly budget or the big budget, but the gas, remember
Oh,
we
the
saw the
utility
gas?
bills?
Yeah, the utility bills.
Yeah, that's on the monthly expense budget that comes from the comptroller's office.
Okay, remember when we saw it and I asked, wow, there's a big change, and then you showed me on your computer and it wasn't recorded correctly?
I think it wasn't recorded, I think we're a month behind.
Oh, okay.
So I think that once March's bills come out on the expense report, it should match what I have on that spreadsheet.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay,
But I will check.
right.
Do we have any other discussion points or questions? Then I am ready to entertain a motion to accept and approve the monthly budget reports for February.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the monthly budget report.
Thank you, Sue. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the motion carries. So now we can move on to consideration and possible action regarding the approval of the library gift fund report for February 2025. Anybody have any questions or concerns on that one? Hearing none, I'm ready to take a motion for the approval of that report.
I, Sarah Kaler, will make a motion to approve the gift fund report for February 2025.
Thank you so much, Sari. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Sue. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And the motion carries. Now we get to hear from a presentation by Magdalena Beyer, Adult Service Librarian, regarding her role in the library.
Good afternoon. I'm Magdalena. So I started my library career in the Chicago area. I got my master's degree out there, and I was a librarian in Naperville and West Chicago before my family moved out here. So we've lived here about 5 years. I've been a regular library patron and a frequent volunteer up until I joined the staff professionally last year as the adult services librarian. So one of the things I do in my role as the adult services librarian is collection development. I work closely with Kathy on selecting new adult materials that includes both fiction and nonfiction. And I keep track of what authors are popular in this community, what those authors are coming out with right now to make sure that we get those books. I occasionally am in communication with our book vendor as issues come up. I will sometimes pull books that are old or in poor condition to remove them from the collection as necessary. I run reports and look for missing items, and occasionally as necessary, I will do things like edit a catalog record or edit a spine label on books in the adult collection. I also do the adult services programs. Right now we have a monthly craft program and a monthly book club for adults. It's a bring your own book format, so they just bring in whatever they're already reading and we all discuss what we're currently reading. And I do some passive programming. So we currently have an online reading challenge going. It's a different prompt every month. A couple of times I've done a book display to go along with that. And in February, we did Blind Date with a Book, which is where the book was covered in paper, wrapped kind of like a present. And so people would check out a mystery book. It was labeled only with the genre. And I'm excited about some of that passive programming because we have noticed an increase in circulation in the adult fiction. If I pull up the circulation statistics quarterly, we're at 3,056 for this quarter, which is up from 7% over the previous quarter or 19% from the quarter prior to that. And we are currently in the process of planning programming for the summer. We're in the process of starting up a program series where we would be partnering with local organizations to offer programs on essential life skills. So a lot of the ones that we have booked so far are on financial skills, like making a budget, starting a credit card, things along those lines. I've got those booked once a month through October, but that's going to be a longer series. And that's going to be starting in June with the beginning of our summer reading program. And I also assist with youth and all ages programs, which is an additional, in most weeks, it's an additional 5 programs. And since October, I've been the coordinator for the volunteers. So that involves training new volunteers, communicating with volunteers about scheduling, delegating tasks to volunteers, and tracking volunteer hours. Since October, we've added 8 new volunteers, and the number of hours has been on an upward trend. Well, for the month of March, we're at 59 hours, which is already an increase over previous months. We have volunteers coming in this weekend, so we're definitely for sure going to be over 60 hours by the end of the month. So I'm excited about that. And last but not least, I spend at least 10 hours a week, sometimes a little bit more, on the desk, directly providing customer services to patrons.
I'd like to make a suggestion. I learned about Hoopa. Am I saying it right?
Hoopla.
Okay, I need to figure out how to use it, and so do other people my age. So can you do something in the evening when people get off work to show us how to use it and how we can download everything? Because I don't want to say I tried, but I couldn't get a kid today to help me. So I'd like to see that. Have you approached the senior citizen, and had you presented there and told about your programs you're doing for adults?
Yes. Yes, so Kathy and I both met with the director of the senior center, I want to say it was maybe about 2 months ago, and we had them provide a survey to a lot of their frequents, a lot of the people who are in there frequently, and we collected those surveys. I didn't bring the data with me today, but yeah, we had a lot of positive comments. And the majority of the requests and suggestions were along the lines of technology classes.
Did you present at lunchtime? I'd like to see you go there when there's like 60 people eating lunch, because that's when you're going to get the full people's attention. And I think that'll really spark an interest.
Okay.
Because it would make them feel more welcome at the library.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
So Hoopla for sure. Technology. Do you ever do like how to work your phone workshops?
We've done those in the past. We don't currently have a program like that running,
Okay.
other than Tom coming into this, he goes into the senior center to provide one-on-one technology assistance.
And he's available for that?
Yes.
And how does a person do that?
At the senior center, it's kind of a drop-in thing where they just come in during that time slot, but also they can contact him at the library.
And what's his last name again?
Patterson.
Okay, thank you.
I really appreciate learning a little bit more about what you've been doing, Magdalena. I think that many of the programs I've heard of, which is actually kind of heartening for me because I knew from other people in the community about your craft program. I'd heard of your book club program. The blind date with a book is kind of half famous, and I keep thinking I'm going to get in there and do it when you're doing it, and I never get in there. So I'm glad that you brought it to mind. It sounds like you've been very, very busy, and I really appreciate the data on the increases that you've given us. Is there anybody else that wants to comment in? Or?
I have a question. When you said 19%, how many people is that?
So that was checkouts, not people.
Okay.
So yeah, then this was as of yesterday afternoon, so these numbers have already changed. So the checkouts for the adult fiction collection from January through yesterday was 3,056. And yeah, I didn't write down the number for what it was previous quarters, just the percentage increase.
But it's increased 19% from there.
Since
January?
That would have been July through September. No.
Oh, great.
Yeah, June through August. June through August of last year.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and talk to us. Thank you so much, Magdalena.
I love the data because that's where it tells what's going on. So thank you for providing that for us.
Thank you so much. All right, that brings us to our next public comment session. Is there anybody that would like to make a public comment at this time? Hearing none, I think we can move to adjournment. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.